Have you ever faced a moment so difficult that you ask yourself why this is happening to me? Life can feel like a storm, tossing us between hardship, failure, heartbreak, and uncertainty. In those moments, it is easy to believe that suffering is meaningless. But what if every challenge, every setback carried a hidden purpose? The philosophy of resilience and wisdom teaches us that nothing in life is truly random. Every experience, whether painful or joyful, shapes us, refines us, and prepares us for what lies ahead. Instead of resisting adversity, embrace it. Seeing obstacles as opportunities for growth, they believe that true strength comes not from controlling the world, but from mastering our response to it. To live by stoic principles is not to suppress emotions, but to understand them, to remain steady amidst turmoil, and to find peace within, no matter how the world shifts around us. So, what if your struggles were not setbacks, but stepping stones? 1. The power of impermanence and acceptance in stoic philosophy. Have you ever felt like life was slipping through your fingers, relationship fading, opportunities lost, and moments of happiness vanishing as quickly as they arrived? This is the nature of life. Everything flows, nothing stands still. Impermanence is not just the truth of physical world. It governs our emotions, our thoughts, and everything we hold. Yet, instead of fearing change, just embrace it. To flow with life rather than resist its currents. Life is filled with trials, loss, failure, and heartbreak. In those moments, it is natural to feel anxious, to wish things had turned out differently. But be reminded, resistance only deepens our suffering. We do not control the shifting tides of fate. We control only how we navigate them. Instead of clinging to what was or fearing what is to come, we can choose to stand firm, to accept the inevitable with grace and composure. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. We waste time resisting reality, mourning the past and fearing the future. But when we accept impermanence, we stop wasting energy on things beyond our control. We begin to live fully in the present, unshaken by the ever-changing world around us." Imagine you are walking in the park where there is no house around. Then a sudden rainfall begins. You were unprepared, cold, soaked, uncomfortable. Frustration is rise within you, and along with the urge to complain about your bad luck. But what if instead of you simply stood still for a moment, you feel each raindrop, hear the wind, accept the reality of the moment? Without resisting, you do not wish the rain to stop, nor do you fight against it. You simply walk forward undisturbed. This is the essence of acceptance. Not resignation, but mastery over your emotions. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Everything that happens is either endurable or not. If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining." This is not a call to suppress emotions, but an invitation to view hardship differently. Instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "How can I respond to this wisely?" When we recognize that nothing is permanent, we stop feeling loss and start embracing life as it comes. One of the greatest examples of this mindset is in me. I was born in a poor family. My life was filled with hardship, yet I never saw myself as a victim. Instead of lamenting my fate, I focused on what I could control. My thoughts, my reaction, my inner peace. I did not waste energy wishing for a different past. I accepted my life as it came and found my strength in my ability to adapt. This is true freedom, not the absence of difficulty, but the ability to remain unshaken by it. Change is inevitable. The body ages. Fortunes rise and falls. Even mountains erode over time. Yet most of our suffering comes not from change itself, but from our resistance to it. We fear uncertainties, but the truth is we are never in control to begin with. The weather changes, people change, circumstances shift whether we like it or not. But once we let go of the illusion of control, we find something greater. So how do we remain calm in the face of life's uncertainties? Here is a simple yet profound answer. Focus on only what you can control and let go of the rest. Your thoughts, your attitudes, your response, your hardship, these are yours to command. Everything else is beyond you, and worrying about it only drains your energy. Think of impermanence not as a loss, but an opportunity. Every ending makes a way for a new beginning. Every hardship is a chance to grow. Instead of fearing change, welcome it, learn from it, and walk forward with unwavering resolve. Because in the end, the only thing that belongs to us is our own minds, our own choices, and the way we choose to face the world. 2. Difficulties are opportunities for growth and development. Have you ever faced an obstacle so great that you felt powerless, as if life was working against you? In those moments, it is easy to see challenges as burdens, something to endure, something unfair. But what if every difficult was not a barrier, but a stepping stone? What if life's hardship were not meant to break you, but to shape you into something stronger? Adversity is not something to be feared or avoided. Instead, it is a forge in which our character is tested and refined. Each challenge, each struggle is an opportunity to become more resilient and to master the art of perseverance. The world will never be free of difficulties, and we cannot control what happens to us, but what we can control is how we respond. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." What does this mean? It means that the very obstacles we encounter are not stopping us, they are guiding us forward. Every hardship is an invitation to adapt, to learn, to become wiser and stronger. Instead of seeing problems as roadblocks, view them as necessary steps in our journey. Take a story of Thomas Edison, a man who failed over 999 times before successfully inventing the electric light bulb. When asked about his repeated failures, he simply responded, "I have not failed. I have just found 999 times that won't work." Edison did not see failure as a dead end. He saw it as a part of a process. Each setback refined his understanding, bringing him closer to success. His resilience was not just about persistence, it was about perspective. He understood that difficulties were not barriers but lessons. This mindset applies not only to great inventors, but to every aspect of life. Challenges come in many forms: career setbacks, broken relationship, personal struggles, etc. When things do not go as planned, our instinct is to resist, to complain, to see ourselves as victims. But suffering is often self-inflicted, not by events themselves, but by our perception of them. Instead of reacting with frustrations, we can choose to respond with wisdom. Seneca once wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor strengthens the body." Just as muscles grow through resistance, our minds grow through struggle. Without adversity, there is no progress. Every challenge is a chance to build patience, resilience, and clarity of thought. Imagine facing a storm at the sea. You can curse the wind, resist the waves, and exhaust yourselves fighting against the inevitable. Or you adjust yourselves, adapt, and use the very forces against you to move forward. Life's challenges work the same way. Fighting them only drains us, but embracing them allows us to grow. One of the most powerful aspects of Stoic philosophy is this emphasis on self-mastery. The true challenge in life is not the external world, but our inner world. When faced with difficulty, we have two choices: either succumb to despair or rise above it. Those who practice Stoic philosophy do not allow external events to dictate their inner peace. They understand that real strength comes not from controlling the world, but from mastering themselves. Obstacles are not the enemies, they are the path itself. The more we struggle, the more we learn. The more we fail, the closer we come to success. The more we endure, the stronger we become. Each difficulty is a lesson in disguise, waiting for us to uncover its wisdom. So the next time you face a hardship, remember this: it is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It is not a sign of failure, but an opportunity for transformation. Do not see obstacles as walls that block your path. See them as the very stones that pave the road to your growth. And now I ask you, how have challenges shaped your life? Which lesson have you learned from struggle? The relationship between actions and results. Every day we encounter countless situations, some trivial, others are life challenges, some are dictated by, are within our control, while others are dictated by fate. But according to Stoic philosophy, what truly matters is not what happens to us, but how we respond. Our actions, our mindsets, and our choices shape the outcomes of our lives more than any external force. Seneca once wrote, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Our minds have a tendency to exaggerate problems, to dwell on worst-case scenarios, and to create sufferings that do not even exist. We anticipate failure, rejection, and hardship before they even arrive. The truth is, most of our fears never materialize. When we let anxiety dictate our actions, we weaken our ability to respond rationally. Stoic philosophy teaches us that instead of being consumed by fear, we must act with clarity and reason. Only by mastering our emotions, we can achieve meaningful results. Epictetus said, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it is what matters. Life will throw obstacles in our path, but we alone determine whether we see them as barriers or as stepping stones. Thomas Jefferson once said, the only difference between stepping stones and stumbling blocks is the way we use them. Two people may face the same hardship. One will crumble under the weight of it, while the other will use it to grow stronger. The difference lies not in the challenge itself, but in the response. Taking responsibility for our action is a fundamental principle in Stoic philosophy. It is easy to blame circumstances or even other people for our struggles, but blaming changes nothing. Instead, the Stoic philosophy urges us to look inward. What can we do? How can we respond better? The results in our lives are a reflection of our past actions, attitudes, and decisions. If we want different outcomes, we must take different actions. This principle is vividly illustrated in my primary school. We had no desk. The floor was not cemented. We used to sit on the floor, writing from our laps. The teachers were not enough, and they were teaching us in vernacular. Most people were against UPE programs, but I did not give up. I just followed the flow, and I eventually went to College Wairaka, the prejudicial school by then. I could not control or stop people talking bad about UPE programs, but I could control myself from responding to it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Challenges do not block our path, they are the path. Every struggle contains within it the potential for growth. When we stop seeing problems as misfortunes and start seeing them as opportunities, we transform our lives. Think about your own lives. How often do you hesitate because of fear? How often do you let external circumstances dictate your decisions? When we cannot control the winds, we can adjust ourselves. Life's difficulties are inevitable, but suffering is optional. It is our actions, not our fears, not our complaints, not our doubts that shapes our future. Stoic philosophy teaches us to move forward with confidence and to take responsibility for our choices and to remain steadfast in the face of adversity. Every decision we make, no matter how small, contributes to the outcomes of our lives. The question is, are we acting with purpose or are we letting external factors control us? The next time faced with a challenge, remember this: you always have a choice. You can react with fear, anger, or despair, or you can respond with wisdom, patience, and determination. Your actions today will shape your results tomorrow. What are your thoughts on the relationship between actions and outcomes? How do you see this principle reflected in your own life? Acceptance and letting go to find inner peace. In the world where chaos often feels beyond our control, where we have a lot of words but empty, I offer a path to tranquility. Not by changing the world, but by mastering our response to it. Instead of wasting energy resisting what cannot be changed, let it go to accept and focus on what is truly within our power. Let me ask you a simple question. Supposing there is a demand of 400 million cattle needed from Uganda, and each cattle costs 2 million shillings. What will you present from your home to come to get out of poverty? We spend most of the time blaming government, complaining, regretting, and cursing the current president, but forgetting our own ability to change the country. Stop wasting time arguing what Museveni can do to improve the economy of Uganda. Improve it. Epictetus said, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to it. This simple yet profound statement captures the essence of Stoic thought. The actions of others, unexpected hardships, and life's uncertainties will always be beyond our reach. But our reactions, our mindsets, our inner peace, these are entirely in our hands. Imagine a moment of conflict, a heated conversation with a loved one, where emotions rise and words become sharp. Your instinct might be to defend yourself, to retaliate, to prove you're right. But then you pause, you take a deep breath, you choose silence over reaction, observation over impulse. You realize that you cannot control the emotion of the other person, but you can control your own. That single moment of restraint changes everything. Instead of fueling the fire, you can bring calm and clarity to the situation. This is the power of acceptance, the ability to remain composed even when the world around you is in turmoil. Acceptance does not mean resignation. It does not mean passively allowing life to unfold without effort. Instead, it means recognizing what is within your control and letting go of the rest. The more we resist reality, the more we suffer, fighting against what is, whether it be loss, disappointment, or the actions of others, only drains us. When we accept, we free ourselves from unnecessary frustrations and focus on what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius reinforced this idea. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. True peace is not found in controlling the external world, but in mastering our own inner world. Those who cling to expectations, who demand that life should go their way, are constantly at war with reality. While those who embrace what comes, adapting and responding with wisdom, move through life with a quite unshakable strength. A powerful example can be seen in my life. As a child, I was considered slow. I struggled in school. I was often doubted by the people around me. It would have been easy for me to internalize these judgments, to feel defeated by the limitation placed upon me. But instead of dwelling on what others thought, I focused on what I could control. My passion for knowledge, my curiosity, and my relentless pursuit of understanding. Despite countless obstacles, here I am. I did not waste time wishing for a different past or resenting those who underestimated me. I simply moved forward I simply accepted my circumstances and moved forward with determination. This personal experience reminds you that life is not in controlling how others see us, but in how we respond to challenges placed before us. Seneca once wrote, "Fate leads the willing and drags along the reluctant." Those who accept life's twists and turns with grace find peace, while those who resist suffer needlessly. We often believe that if we just try harder, if we just push against reality, we can force things to go our way. Peace does not come from bending the world to our will. It comes from learning to flow with it. In our own lives, we will face countless moments where things do not go as planned. A job opportunity slips away. Relationship ends and unexpected difficulty arises. We can either spend our energy lamenting what has happened, or we can choose to focus on what we can do next. The choice is always ours. Practicing acceptance is not weakness. It is the ultimate form of strength. It is the recognition that our peace is not dictated by the world, but by our own minds. When we let go of the need to control everything, we create space for stillness, clarity, and true inner freedom. As we continue this journey, let us remember that peace is not a destination, but a daily commitment to letting go of what we cannot change and focusing on what we can, maintaining inner peace in all circumstances. Life constantly throws challenges our way, conflict at work, misunderstandings with loved ones, unexpected setbacks, and even painful losses. These moments can easily shake our emotions, leading to stress, anxiety, or even despair. Inner peace does not come from inner peace is not something fragile, easily shattered by external circumstances. Instead, it is a state of mind that we can cultivate and maintain no matter what happens around us. Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it is what matters." This is the essence of wisdom. The world is unpredictable, and we cannot always control the events that unfold in our lives, but we can control how we respond. Inner peace does not come from avoiding emotions or denying hardship. It comes from learning how to manage them with wisdom and resilience. When faced with difficulties, emotions such as anger, sadness, or frustrations naturally arises. We should not suppress our emotions or become indifferent to the world. Instead, learn that true mastery lies in our ability to regulate our emotions rather than letting them control us. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside these events. Realize this and you will find strength." One of the key practices in maintaining inner peace is focusing on the present moment. We often dwell on the past regrets or worrying about our uncertain future, allowing anxiety to take hold. But as the Stoic reminds us, the past cannot be changed and the future has not yet arrived. Only the present is real, and it is the only place where our actions have power. Instead of being consumed by thoughts of what could have been or what might go wrong, we should turn our attention to what we can do right now. Even those who have achieved great successes have faced immense struggles. A powerful example of resilience and inner peace is the life of Helen Keller, struck by illness at a younger age. She lost both her sight and hearing, facing what seemed insurmountable obstacle. Yet she refused to be defined by her limitations. With unwavering determination, she learned to communicate and became an accomplished writer and dedicated her life to advocacy and education. She once said, "We can do anything we want if we stick to it enough." Keller's life embodies the Stoic principle of maintaining inner peace and perseverance in the face of adversity. Instead of succumbing to bitterness or self-pity, she accepted her reality and focused on what she could control, like her actions, her mindset, and her ability to make a difference. This raises an important question. Is it really possible to maintain inner peace when everything around us feels chaotic? Can we avoid being consumed by negativity when life becomes overwhelming? The Stoic would say yes, but only if we shift our perspective. Instead of reacting with frustrations, we can ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? What action can I take right now to improve my situation? These questions help us to regain clarity and focus, preventing emotions from clouding our judgment. Seneca once wrote, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." In other words, without a clear mindset and a stronger foundation, we are easily swayed by every external disturbance. But when we anchor ourselves to reason, self-awareness, and acceptance, no storm can truly shake us. Stoicism is not just a philosophy, it is a practical guide to navigate life's challenges. It teaches us that no external event has the power to disrupt our inner world unless we allow it to. By practicing patience, self-discipline, and acceptance, we build an unshakable sense of peace. This is not an easy journey. It requires a daily effort and mindfulness, but the reward is profound. A life of stability, dignity, and true freedom. Every difficulty, every hardship, every loss is an opportunity to strengthen our mind and to reinforce our inner calm. Just as Keller did not let her circumstances define her, we too can rise above life's challenges. Inner peace is not about escaping difficulties. It is about facing them with grace, resilience, and unwavering strength. We have journeyed through one of the most powerful lessons of Stoic philosophy. Everything happens for the reason. While we may not control our life's twists and turns, we always have the power over how we respond. Every challenge Every challenge carries a lesson. Every setback is an opportunity. Every moment is a chance to grow. Calmness, acceptance, and purposeful action define those who embrace this mindset. What about you? Have you ever faced a moment where hardship led to unexpected wisdom? Share your life lesson with a friend.